What was I gonna say? The next R&B thing in London is on the 26th. That's not your thing, though, is it?
Oh, are you crazy, bro?
Producer, man, don't do this.
This is what we've been listening to on the way, bros. I don't even listen to grime, bro, even though I make it.
26th of
Do you know what? Yeah, do you know what's so crazy? You say that.
Oh, we're in already.
You know what's so crazy about you saying that? Yeah, you see Nines.
Yeah.
Nines, yeah. If you take a look at what he makes or what he's commercially known for, in comparison to what Nines will tell me he listens to, the contrast is mad. Mad. Some old 70s, 80s joints or like some proper slow joints.
The whole way, what he was playing on the way was mad. Old 70s, 60s.
That's me as well, you know.
Do you reckon it happens to you as you get older? Do you just become a more of an appreciation? Like, you know, your taste buds change every 7 years. Do your ears change like every certain amount of time? The ability to listen and take something in.
I think so.
I think so as well.
For me personally, I think that definitely happened.
When I was young, I was listening to grime every day, every MC religiously.
It's like even when you watch films, like you may like discover a different thing that you didn't see the first time you watch it. Do you know what I mean? As you grow older.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Do you know what as well though? Yeah, I think there's like a few different things that contribute to it a bit, because you will hear like some younger artists in particular that might listen to various different things, but that might be down to their friends or who they're around or whatnot. So for me, growing up here, although I listened to a few different things, the majority of me and my brethren just listened to this. This is just what we was in. So for example, like when like in early grime days and that, we just immersed ourselves in it. Reggae and dancehall was still getting played, of course. So you know what I'm saying? And as an R&B man, I was still collecting R&B, but we immersed ourselves in it. Whereas anything outside of that, I weren't really paying too much attention to. Now, I can go for a moment where all day I could listen to grime. The next day, all day I could listen to dancehall. All day I could listen. I got a playlist on my phone called Alternative Whiteness.
No way.
That's got all kinds of. That's got Kings of Leon in there. It's got Jungle. I've been listening. Remember when we was in here and we was talking about what? Brother!
Told you about them rhythms there. Back in the was crazy.
So sometimes I might have that in my headphones, just walking through whatever, and just listening to that. But I wouldn't have done that when I was younger because I just fully immersed myself in a couple of different things. Now it's just whatever makes me feel good at a certain time, I'm just listening to it, and that could be anything.
I had a different experience though. I loved music videos, so my music videos was my thing. I would sit down and watch The Box or Kiss or MTV Base literally all day, or I'll wait for Beats, Rhymes and Life on MTV Base.
I
think it was like
that.
4 p.m. So I'm rushing back home, like, let me just watch this until 6, 7 o'clock. And then I used to just write down ideas for like music videos that I was never going to shoot. But we do what we do.
So you're a visual guy. Brother,
I just loved visuals. So it just meant I listened to so much music by accident.
Yeah.
1 minute the chords are on. Then you got Bewitched. Now it's
Bewitched.
Say you will, say you won't. Like, you nuts. Them 3 gal were out. It was it for. Whatever, them guys out here doing it for Ireland, I was respecting their thing. So that I just like, variety. Ceiling was, because music has a ceiling, innit? Music has a ceiling. Depending on what sound you're listening to, depends on the ceiling. But it just feels like, for black people, it don't matter what ceiling, we'll just listen to anything in it.
We embrace anything. So when you go to Jamaica, you think that you're just going to hear reggae all the time. Nope. You hear ballads to pieces.
And country music.
They love to
Enough of it. Enough of it.
Rap is mad, bro.
Enough of it. And bare remixes.
Fam, when I heard Sometimes by Sanchez, I was like, I could swear this is a Britney Spears song. But I found like, it wasn't even Britney. Everyone's copying, man.
That's crazy. We done an interview recently and we were speaking about, they asked us about early influences. Like, what was it? And I said it was Spice Girls. I said it was Take That. I said it was all of that.
What?
When I was a youth,
Man couldn't make Anna off Spice Girls.
No. Okay, so in terms of inspiration into music,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, like a segue or doorway into music, it was those type of music that I first heard.
Yeah.
And obviously African music. Do you know what I mean? Growing up in my household, there's loads of African music. But
did you embrace that when you was young? See, when you was young, did you embrace that being listened to in the yard?
Yeah. There was no choice. It's by default. I didn't have a choice. When you say embrace it, you mean like, did I appreciate it or like?
Did you appreciate it?
Yeah, man, we used to sing the songs and all that type of stuff. But I didn't necessarily play it because I didn't know how to play it, if that makes sense.
100%.
When it come on where it all vibes in. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's vibing.
True, when you're young, how'd you play? Like,
yeah.
Hey, the youth, them are lucky now, innit? Man's got our price. Man can't go our price and buy the cause. So wait for that song to come on MTV. Not bass anyway, but yeah.
Hey, listen, obviously, Russ was in the building, but I can't there's no way, because I can just have this conversation and we could just keep going and we could just do the pod like this or whatnot, yeah. But I can't do that right now because some things happened over the last few days, and I just know that the gang that's watching this are gonna sit here and they're gonna be like, Chucks and Poe, talk about it. So I have to bring it up first.
Yeah, man.
And I want you lot to talk about it as well, because you've been musicians for a very long period of time now, and you've seen transitions of, and one thing we've definitely seen is clashes.
Right then.
So in terms of battling,
All right.
come on, come on, fam.
Yeah.
Russ,
So,
come on.
Unless you
That's
ain't had your,
interesting still.
that you should know anyway, yeah. It was looking like it was gonna happen. It was looking like it was gonna happen. Future came outside like that. Kendrick came outside and had a few things to say and address.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what is funny about that? We're like, oh, okay, he's come outside. He's gonna say some stuff. There was a lot of speculation on what was gonna happen. Me and Mitch as well sat here. We talked about it on the pod. Like, you know, a lot of there was a lot of opinions flying around. Like, you know, Kendrick sneak this in. Well, this time he wasn't sneak this in. And to be honest with you, enough times he's not even sneak this in. He's actually saying some stuff directly. But people are pointing out that Cole was sneak this in, pointing out some older lyrics of where Drake will sneak this in, and it's just this whole thing brewing. Yeah. So now it was looking like, okay, he's made a big jab. Is anyone gonna have something to say? J. Cole put out a project. Might delete later. I'll wake up. I keep getting these messages. You need to get Mitch back on the pod. Yeah, you need to talk about it. But I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? So then I've realised, apparently Cole's said something and responded. So I listened to the whole project and I'm trying to find the parts of where, and I'm picking out some bits and pieces or whatever until I found the song and it was right at the end. 7-minute drill. Poe, when you first heard it, what was your thinking when you heard it? Do you remember?
Yeah. The first thing I said to myself is, growing up, a Crazy Titch diss wouldn't have felt like this. It just wouldn't have felt so soft. It felt like someone threw cotton wool or toilet paper at my head.
I'm glad
I just wasn't. Listen, man can't diss people like Cole World. I'm like, yo, that voice is too soft, man. Like, you don't even sound pissed off. You just sound like light work. It's not light work. This is not light work.
No.
This is far from light. This song's apparently gonna go platinum.
Oh, really? Yeah, I heard
So this
really
can't be
well.
light work.
Yeah.
This is far from light work, my guy. So when you start off like that, and I don't know, like, do you know, like when you make music, you lot make music. In fact, staying away from the music for 1 second, because I kind of want to understand why J. Cole done what he done later on. But you see, when you diss someone, like, come on, you've been in Grime for how long? Is it a thing where you all sit down with each other and have a conversation about should we do this or not? Is that the first go-to thing that you do when you hear the information? Say Tinchy got cussed or Dirty Danger got cussed or one. Do you all sit down and go, okay, what do we do about this? Or is it more for that person to make his own move?
Good question, you know.
That's a good question still.
I think it depends on the collective or the people, the group. But in our experience, I think it's just been impulsive.
It's just been impulsive.
Yeah, so someone might ring me and say this has happened or that's happened. And then I might just think, okay, that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? But then maybe in the process,
yeah.
and then maybe in the process, someone else is like Rapid might have heard, okay, cool, and then he might just write a lyric. And I didn't even know he's put one together for the person.
Yeah.
And then on radio, everyone's just shelling, and now it's like a diss session almost. Like, do you know what I mean? It hasn't happened many times for us because we're
I can't like you, man. Away from
we
the
just
sales,
don't
to be
do
fair.
It's not really been like that too much. Although the production has always been warish.
A1.
Yeah, that's
A1.
super warish. Do you know what's mad? Because back when I was in my little crew in that, and it was about to get thing, there was not a meeting, but it was kind of that.
Okay.
It was kind of like, yo, these men are saying what they're saying and that.
Who's
like,
these
what
men? Who's these?
Do you know what? I can't even. I'll tell you off camera. But these men are saying what they're saying or whatever. It was a Westing. So we were then working out like what the move was. Was it a thing of, do we make something back or whatever, or you know when you're young and that,
Of
you
course.
kind of think,
I know
okay,
what
what
the
do we
aura
make
is.
them a victim?
And
Then do it. You get what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
bit mad like that.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it just became nothing. And thankfully, it became nothing because it never needs to be like that. Your mind is just going in a bit of a weird place. It's just like you feel like someone's attacking you and you don't really know. Yeah, as a young man who's trying to figure out this ego thing, you don't really know how to address that.
course.
What are we supposed to... Like, are we supposed to just be cool and say hello to each other afterwards, or do we just make a war thing and on in music and leave it as that, or do we make them a victim and then make something to talk about afterwards? Because then at least then, if we made them a victim and then we rapped about it, it was we're not just saying words.
Yeah.
Of course. And going back to as well, actually going back to what you were saying about the Kendrick, it's a guilty confession. I haven't heard anything.
Is it?
But you know why? It's because the ingredients, the lineup. I knew it was going to be cotton, like you said.
Yeah, bro.
So I was seeing it, and I'm just watching everything on mute because I'm seeing the ingredients. I'm like, this is not going to be serious. It'll be over in a minute.
I hear you.
I want to see the shellers going at each other.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
There was some
I hear you.
certain names I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I don't know. If I heard something like Bobby Shmurda was dissing, I don't know, 50 Cent or just something crazy like that, then I'm like, okay, I'll mute. What's going on?
Yeah, you want to
know
hear
what I
what's
mean?
going on, but
Regardless of lyrics, but just the realness of it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But when I'm
yeah.
seeing like no disrespect, like Drake, Kendrick, I know everyone's blessed. So I heard he's apologized now, or someone's
Well,
apologized.
no, we'll get to that bit, but hear what I'm saying. This is why it's interesting that you say that, because that's exactly how I felt about it when people were saying that Cole should respond. Because in my mind, this is just me. I'm just speaking for me. I'm saying to myself, these two, as far as I'm concerned, don't really have no type of issue amongst themselves. Like, it seems to be that they're cool. There's just a rapper's competitive thing in there or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but it's like, you know what? If there isn't an issue, I'd rather just see it in the full element of what battle rap looks like, where people are standing in a room and they're like making up bars and they're doing that. I'd rather just see that than to see two guys that ultimately are just cool with themselves and whatever. Like, but for me, the Kendrick and the Drake thing was more appealing to me because there seemed to be feelings in there. Do you get what I'm saying? And so in the feelings now, man's going in the booth and there's things that are being said, and to me it's like a little bit more exciting. I don't want anyone to be hurt, or I don't want it, and it's not never ever going to be that, because now the way that certain men are, the way that things are, is that like Drake is a superstar. There's conversation about you're not going to be able to go to Compton and all these type. Big man, this man is doing arenas, is around Chubbs and them type of man. Street Dons would get involved. Jay Prince would probably get involved. Man, them would talk it. It ultimately would be fine.
He's worth too much money for it to be an issue like that.
Do you
But in
understand
the
what I'm
same breath, you never know.
You never know.
I think people, because you know what? Well, let's stay with the fact with the song with J. Cole.
Yeah.
That whole song seemed like, to me, and I don't know because I don't know any of these niggas, it just seems like it was a last minute decision.
Yes.
It doesn't seem well thought through.
No.
And most importantly, I don't think he spoke to many people. Because I'm not a war man like that. But one thing is, I'm willing to war here. Like, I'm willing to say what I want here and deal with the repercussions, whatever they are afterwards. DMs, phone calls, bad looks, barging me. Oh, that was scary. All of that stuff, I will deal with it, because I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, don't care. Because it's like, it's not really that serious. So I'll deal with it. And I don't understand why J. Cole didn't have that same attitude. Because when I hear that song, I'm just hearing someone that doesn't really want to do it, but it's like, I just feel a little bit of pressure, so guess what? I'm going to do it. And I just think, it's Mitch phoning me as well. I just think that's just like, nah, bro.
I hated that.
I hated that about it, bro.
I saw it and I just thought, it just confirmed everything that I was thinking. This Don doesn't want to do this.
So then I ask
He
you
doesn't do
this.
this rap, so bro.
Why say something though?
God, bro, do you know what, I agree with what you're saying in the sense of, clearly he must not have spoken to anyone about that. He must have just, because I'm saying to myself, somebody must have said, if he was going to speak to someone about that and they were going to hear it, somebody would have said, bro, if you're going to clap back at Kendrick now and make this a thing, you might as well just not even bother doing that. And if it's not in you to do it,
can you give me the sequence, please? Like, who started what and where did it go? Because
starting is difficult.
So quick.
Starting is very difficult, you know.
Yeah.
Like, pinpointing it is quite difficult, but like in earlier times, or later times, shall I say, Cole has been rapping very well, and a lot. His whole thing has been man like can't chat to him, this, that, and the fourth, or whatever else. Yeah, and also there's been like a few bars and a few lines that feel like he's talking to Kendrick. There's a few in it. Yeah, people have been picking him out or whatever.
There's a few.
Then him and Drake had a song called Free Person Shooter or whatever. First person shooter. Sorry, yeah. And in that, like, there's a couple of lines where he sort of coined this whole, this big free thing or whatever. And it's almost like they're dismissing Kendrick within it. So then when Kendrick came out the other day, one of the first things that he's saying is, I'm too paranoid for this. These men are trying to... So he's now clapping back at them, man. It's not a big free thing, it's just big me. Okay. That's what he's saying, isn't it? Okay. So now it's like he's directly addressing the situation that he feels that these men are doing. Okay. So everyone's now waiting, because we already know that Kendrick and Drake have had a thing, and also Cole's been rapping quite well recently and making it very clear that he thinks that he should be in this top 3 thing and he's whatever it is, yeah. Now everyone's thinking, okay, now that he said that, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Whereas for me, even though I understood why people would say, J. Cole's in the form of his life, he should do this or whatever. In my mind, I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't care about it. Them man are cool. Like, he's not gonna do it from his heart. I believe that. Unfortunately, this is just the unfortunate thing in war at times. With a certain aspect is like, you got to dig into a certain place. Yeah, you got to tap into a certain place to really get there to win a war. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if you don't go there and the Avedon goes there, then it's mad for you. Do you know what I mean? So I've just never seen Cole as like, even though I know everyone's saying that Cole's been this and that for the last 3 years, for me personally, I'm like, I'm just looking at this Don from the start of his career all the way up to now. And even though I know that people do change and there's a fire in them and certain things can happen, I just never saw him as that guy. All I want to know is, Drake, Kendrick, when you're ready, it doesn't have to be next week, it don't have to be next month, but Drake, when you're ready, step forward and say something. Because everyone's writing you off. And I'm not. Because even though Kendrick is a guy, there's something that tells me, if Drake picks the right beat, and he has one piece of information, because there's many things you can say about Drake that we already know. Like, we say he's soft, his baby mum's this, he hid his this, that, and the fourth, and whatever. Like, of course, Kendrick can say it in a smart way and whatever else, yeah, and it's gonna be cool, yeah, of course. But if Drake comes and has something for Kendrick that nobody expects. Because this is the next thing. It's like everyone's saying, what do you say about Kendrick? There's nothing to say until there's something to say. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. If there's one thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't think everyone's writing off Drake. I think it's a young spray thing. It's a mind games thing. It's a, hey, you ain't got nothing to say. You're an idiot. Just so you can come out and say something. You man, I'm trying to think of what is a J. Cole equivalent in grime early on.
Oh, that's a draw still.
Because all I'm trying to think about is the person that's packaged. Listen, it's not intentionally trying to be rude. Hopefully.
I don't want this to come across as rude at all, yeah. But do you know what it would have been like for me, yeah? Huh?
Yeah, I like it. Cool. I like it.
Yeah. What it would have been like for me is if, say early on, like Tiny was warring somebody. No, but he was not a chip thing, but he was warring like somebody that he didn't really have a problem with.
Yeah.
So it's like, the essence of what I'm trying to say here is that even if he did have a little slight, I just don't think that person has it within themselves to get to that point in here to really want to say some stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Because ultimately, I just don't think that within your core, you're able to do that. And some people could say the same about Drake, but the reason why I think that Drake can, is because I think the industry has turned Drake into this person. I think Drake, we all looked at Drake as mad soft and this, that, and the fourth, and boom, 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 yeah. But I think he's gone through a bunch of situations where him being seen as the number one guy, whether we've liked it or not, yeah, seen as the number one guy, that crowd has been mad heavy. Everyone has come for this Don at some point, had something to say. There was all kinds of shit that came out about him and everything. He's had so much to deal with that I could imagine a man saying, you know what?
I'm not having this.
Chubbs is my brethren. OVO, this is my brethren. All these are my brethren. But ultimately, you know what? Fuck everyone else, bro. Like, fuck anyone that, like, fuck everyone else, bro. Like, and sometimes I think if you're going to be the number one Don, you might have to be that guy to stay there. Has Cole got that?
No, do you know, when I'm looking at it and I'm just trying to piece and find the equivalents within UK music, do you know where I'm coming from? Because for me, these are situations that I just don't see happening in the UK. First of all, the equivalent couldn't be Tiny. Now, this nigga has not apologised. And he's got a black belt. So that's my... I'm rating his thing right
has
now.
Has he got a black belt?
Well, probably.
In some sort of combat.
I see him fighting.
That wasn't I wouldn't say that as a disrespect, by the way.
No, I know you would.
Like.
It's more for me to emphasise this point, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you're at the top of the game, like in America. It lets me kind of know a little bit that at least we maybe have a little bit more control of the genre of music over here than they have in the States. Because all I'm not noticing about it is principles in something is changing. Like, for example, I saw, I sent a text into the group of one person I know, I'll say in a minute, saying, well done, J. Cole, showing signs of maturity. Pardon? This is fucking hip hop. You want to show signs of maturity? Go do a tune of Talib Kweli then. Just stay over there, my guy. Common or something like that. Common's out here dancing now. You don't even want to fucking rap. My point is this. The moment you do something, I feel, which is deemed as immature, like sneak this in somebody, you can't just tap out the moment they respond. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get it. But that was his lane anyway. Like, as you said, Talib Kweli, like, that's where he should have stayed. But he did step out of his lane. So it does feel like, well, what you doing? But then he's backtracked because how I see J. Cole as a man of peace, innit? And what he did say when he was apologising was like, this has messed up my peace. I'm not sleeping properly. So obviously,
that's terrible.
The age that he's at or where he's at, this ain't for him. So he's realised and he's backed out. Maybe that's the best thing for him to do because otherwise it will disturb him further.
Let me show you something. I hate you. Let me show you something. I hate all of that.
And let me tell you something.
But you know that guy?
I believed it.
Yeah.
Bro, he's getting a blind because he's got a baggy.
I'm not giving him a blind. I'm not giving him a blind, bro.
Yeah, because he raps about being the best.
I need this to be clear.
On top, so you have to.
I need this to be clear.
But
whatever I say about Cole in regards to this is not me giving him a blind.
No.
I think that Kendrick should rip his head off for doing what he did. But let me tell you something. This is just me. I'm not speaking. This is just me. Yeah. What Cole has showed me over his career, I've believed. So when the last 3 years, like in which everyone's been talking about him rapping his arse off or whatever, yeah, I believed in his ability to be able to do that. But it was more of a surprise to me that he was talking the way that he was talking within that 3 years than it was a surprise to me him apologizing.
No,
because for me, the guy that he was on that stage, to me, has always been the guy that I've seen him as. I was just surprised that he was doing the sneak dissing thing, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, who's he hanging around with? Like, what's going on here? Do you know what I'm saying? As a man come out of jail and he's hanging around with some type of don who's put in the back, like, who is this guy?
Yeah, but you say that, but this is why it's weird to me. This is why it's just weird to me. Shout out Ben White. Ben White's a footballer.
We got Ben White.
Yes,
Benjamin White.
Come on, Ben.
You might look at Benjamin and go, he's not on this thing. Benjamin's on this thing. But maybe outside of football, he's not on this thing.
Who's he play for?
Arsenal. Right back.
But in this thing, right on my line, in football, I can't speak for him outside of football. I don't know. He's got 2 earrings, he's married, he's out here with fake tan, my brother. Essex thing.
Mad
but
orange.
Come on, my brother. But on the football field, he's fighting.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking J. Cole.
Has he always showed you that he was fighting?
Who? Ben White?
Yeah.
This guy got told to go to the under-19s when he was at Leeds United, or under-21s. These times he's a big man. He just went there, didn't argue, treated it like army.
But this is what I'm saying.
But my point is, but I didn't know that information until now because they've gathered all this information and they've gone, wait a minute, this guy just. Why are we noticing that he don't F about now? He's never F'd about.
Right. Okay.
My thing with J. Cole is this. I'm not asking you to be the super alpha male outside of 3 minutes, 16 seconds. I'm not asking for that. But within 3 minutes, 30 seconds or whatever it is of that song, the moment you've decided to go, I'm going to sneak this. brother, you've got to stand up for yourself if nobody else. Because you keep sneak this in Kendrick, you keep sneak this in other people, and then you keep saying you're the best. Boys, you would know. In grime, if you go and say I'm the best grime artist, what happens?
Man have to come.
People come for you, bro.
So then if you're saying you're number one, and this isn't anything, I could watch Lord of the Rings. If nigga says I'm the best or whatever, they're gonna want to fight him. So I just want to know why you think for 1 second you can sneak this, then you can say you're number one, but you're not just making sure your armory's set up. Because I reckon when Drake and all of that are saying...
No, you know what? Dirk said it's because he's not sleeping no more.
Yeah,
because he's J. Cole. You know what?
He's not sleeping anymore.
He's not on it.
He's J. Cole.
At least he's real enough to admit he's not on
Yeah,
it.
he said he didn't.
He's
can't
J.
sleep.
Cole.
What, real now? So that means you've been fake for 4 years. I can't say to you well done for being real.
You know what it is? Sometimes people make a move, innit? And then when the move doesn't play out as they thought it would, they might backtrack. It's like you can make a mistake. You can think, oh, actually, you know what? I didn't actually want to do that. When you see the response that it's getting, I think that's the case with J. Cole. He stepped out to the ring and he's realised actually this ain't really my arena.
No, that's not fair.
And it might not be a thing where cool. You're gonna give him give a man ratings, but at least he said, you know what? Actually, allow it. Then rather than try and go back to back and then it just looks even worse.
All right, let me show you this now. Imagine, for example, there's a boxing match happening July 21st. And we know now. I'm gassed. I even say, you lot, let's go Madison Square Garden and watch the whole blood clot thing. So we fly down Madison Square Garden, all 5 of us, we're having a great time, we're drunk, we're vibing. The boxing now, you see the man come out, the next man comes out, and then the man steps in the ring and goes, you know what, lads, I'm not on it.
Yeah, it's mad.
You want me to know, I've just spent about 10 racks? I can't get that money back. You want me to be happy about this situation? My point is, you can't go through everything J. Cole's done to get to this point to back out.
Yes.
This is absolute garbage.
You can't
in
do
my
that.
head.
But it's J. Cole.
Oh, that's
in my mind.
Then do you know what? All J. Cole listeners, all of you are Wasios, you should throw your CDs away. This guy's lied to you for the past 3-4 years. If this is the type of guy you want to be listening to, I don't want nothing to do with J. Cole. That absolutely stinks. I would rather you stay, have the fight, lose, and I go, do you know what, my brother? At least you had the fight.
And I agree with you. But
this man said take the song off streaming services.
Do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the thing is? And again, for me, sorry, what I just need to say this, this is just me. Is the reason why this whole J. Cole thing didn't faze me so much, and I believe what he's saying because I believe that too, I would much rather him just taking the L and just taking the L, innit, But you know what? Like, I just think. Oh wait, I've lost it. Wait. Oh, it's gone.
Shout out Crazy Tits, you'd never would have done this. Never.
Oh,
shout out P Money.
But
you never would have done this.
It's hip hop. I get it. It's hip hop.
That's my only thing. It's hip hop, bro. It's the rules of hip hop.
It's the game.
You know what I was gonna say though?
There's unwritten laws. Sorry, Slip.
Using the boxing analogy, maybe someone in his corner threw in the towel for him.
No. Do you know what?
Maybe someone in his corner.
Did you? If you watch the talk,
it's a long day. Trust me.
If you watch it, no.
He did it.
I actually think he even
threw it in.
I think he told everyone, because you know one thing that I found really weird is when I listened to Rory and Mal, they were like, we spoke to Drake, and Drake was like, this is Drake, you're going to Dreamfield Festival? He said, I don't know. Now that instantly, if I heard that, I'd be like, what's J. Cole done?
He said, should I?
Should I? He said, should I? What do you mean, should you? Like, Kendrick's just cussed you and Cole. You two are going back to back on this taking on the world thing. And now a man has said to you, are you going? You're saying, should I? And then I see a man apologize. My brother, I think certain times in life, you can't
that's
take
lightly
back,
taken out of context.
But one second, you can't take back what's been said. You can't take back what's been done. So I think everybody in the involved should accept the circumstances and figure out how to move forward based upon the circumstances, not pretending it didn't happen like J. Cole and then apologizing and say, let me just get back to my whatever it was he was getting back to. I just think I understand it. I respect it, all of that, but I still believe it's garbage.
Just like what you just said though, it could be taken out of context a little bit because through like more conversations and even how that conversation transpired was that it wasn't necessarily that he knew that he was going to apologize, but it was more just like there's a whole thing happening right now. Kendrick's come out, he said some stuff. They've obviously done first person shooter in that as well. It's like that could also then be seen as, if he goes out and they do that together, it could be seen as a them two versus him. And it's like, do I do that? Do I go and it's a us versus them thing, or do I stand alone and figure out what the move is and then attack my man. That was an element of what they was trying to say in that conversation too.
Chuckie,
so I just wanted to throw that as well.
Just, are you coming? Yes or no? It doesn't have, like, if I've been rolling with someone for time, I understand you're doing algebra, I get it. But my thing is, cuz it's not a difficult question. Are you coming to the thing? You might say, do you know what, but I'm not going to perform. You might just answer it normally. Like, you don't have to be saying, should I? And do all of this dissertation. I just think the moment
I'm not saying that that's my thinking.
No. I'm just saying I think everyone knew J. Cole was gonna apologize.
I just wanted to put that into
and everyone just, and I don't know for sure, but I just think everyone said, you know what, big man, I'm not with it. Because Jake, remember I sent the thing I sent you now? Is it true?
No.
Praise the Lord. I thought that was true.
What was it?
I thought Drake was pulling out of more J. Cole shows. I was gonna say that's mad.
No. Drake's just standing back watching what's the situation.
Oh, they cancelled January.
They cancelled the show in January.
They cancelled some shows in January apparently.
Okay.
But anyway, the point I was actually going to make, and it's a little bit out of context now, is that like another thing for me is that although J. Cole over the last 3 years, for some people, in some people's eyes, has lied and not told the truth and not done all of this type of stuff, yeah, which is not a nice thing. Can I be honest with you? This is just me. Come here a minute. I don't believe none of these motherfuckers anyway.
No one.
I've not believed hardly any of them.
You better believe Future.
You better. I heard he don't even take. I heard he ain't even sip lean.
No way.
Hey, I heard. Hey, Poe, come here a minute. I heard Future ain't even sip lean.
What do you mean? Yeah. He has. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to the clubs. I've been there. Like everyone sips lean. Your nan would sip lean in that bloody country. Like. In that place of Atlanta,
he's making the music for them. I heard he ain't even taken a Percocet.
Well, you're an idiot. Listen, Future, I'm here to defend you no matter what. I listened to that
but
album.
You know what? Maybe he did do it. I don't know.
It's Drake that didn't do these things. It's J. Cole that didn't do these things. Them man, come on, my brother.
So wait, just before we move on, yeah. What are you guys saying? Are you guys saying you're upset because J. Cole apologized? Is that what it is?
I'm saying I'm not surprised.
No, what are you saying then?
I'm saying I'm upset because the biggest person in a genre of music that I've loved for a very long period of time has broken an unwritten law and brought in hip-hop individuals that know nothing about hip-hop. When it was a niche counterculture thing that nobody wanted to be a part of, you didn't care about it. These were the rules. Now that it's become big, you want to change the dynamics of it so more people can get involved. No, you shouldn't be allowed to be involved. Because the moment we changed what it is and make entry points now for individuals that don't understand what hip-hop is, hip-hop in 10 years time will be whatever they want to be. And I don't like the fact that it's a genre that started off with no money and it was created by people with no money, and now it's got so much investment, the people with all the investment are trying to tell you what it is. No, J. Cole, honestly, you're probably one of the nicest guys in the world, God bless you, but you're an absolute wassio for not responding. Big facts. And any guy that comes forward in rap or grime,
he just didn't want.
No.
That's what I'm trying to understand. Is it because he said sorry though?
It stinks, bro. It stinks. But bro, how can I attack you and 3 days later? At least Jigga Man waited years. Actually, no, he didn't.
No, do you know what? That's
Jigga Man definitely apologized quickly as well.
That's my one rebuttal.
If he apologized years later, I might go fair enough. I still won't like it. Like Jay-Z apologized for Girls. I play that song religiously, and I'm not happy that he apologized. But it's not a big thing. But the moment you apologize in the heat of the battle, because if you apologize 20 years later, it's not gonna get that much attention.
Yeah, but that's why I don't agree with that.
Listen.
Don't apologize. Just
let me ask a question quickly. I'm uneducated, so forgive me. Yeah.
I'm upset.
In J. Cole's music, is he on smoke though?
The last 3 years.
But what's he saying in it? Like,
he's the best. He's
the best. I'm number one, and then he does sneak. This is for Kendrick, and I believe maybe if I dissect it, there'll be other rappers as well. But it's still a thing, like, because rap is a sport. In any one sport, you are challenged. It's a competitive sport. In golf, Tiger Woods has to beat other people to be number one. You don't just get number one because everyone likes you. And I'm like, this is what hip hop's becoming. This sort of the most liked person wins. Like, no. It's counterculture. It's the other direction. It's spitting at the camera. It's swearing. It's fuck you. It's I want to be. It's everything that society doesn't say we should do. It's like they've given us mud.
Has he been?
Well, then J. Cole needs to. And then J. Cole shouldn't get into a fight. Then
J. Cole has he been in a rap battle before?
No.
I don't know.
Can I just
he
say
didn't know what he stepped into, and I think just when you get like the response from your social media and people are cussing Kendrick, you're like, right, actually, this is my guy. I don't hate him, but then you're seeing all these people chatting madness, and because fans are crazy, innit? People say mad things. So I think that part of it kind of played with his mind, thinking, bro, this is turning into something I didn't really want it to turn into. That's why I think he's talking about like this is disturbing my peace. Not to do with the actual warfare of going back and forth.
But I don't like the fact that because I
agree with that.
I agree with that, but then it's selfish. When you sneak this, do you know the people that know that you sneak this? Your number one fans, and they're gonna at you. Maybe not as much as it when everybody's aware, but you're J. Cole. You're a big artist, so when you release an album, you're gonna get a lot of people on your phone saying, "I heard that sneak this." Why did that not change your energy? Why did you not read that and go, "Do you know what? Actually, I don't even want to cuss Kendrick." You know, like why? Because I honestly, rappers, like, come on, man. We all like. I write. You lot write. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we know.
You don't just write about no one. Let's be honest. When you're a skilled writer at that point, you're not writing about no one. You might shape it as 2 or 3 different people, but you are talking about characteristics that someone in your life has. You're not going to be that of a total good writer from second-hand experiences. I believe a lot of it will be first-hand experiences, and you're just able to express them in a good way. So J. Cole for me,
can I just say though, I do think that that's idealistic though, because I understand what you're saying is that, like, the sneak this is, if someone's saying to him, right, I heard the sneak this and whatever, like, why did it not change his energy? I feel like there's a little bit of a difference between, like, sneak this in on a vibe of I'm number one and I think I might be able to do this, as opposed to literally jumping out of the window now and really going into the art of warfare with somebody that you're cool with. It's like that conversation becomes very different.
Man, it's like me giving you £1 million over 5 years and then £1 million over 1 day.
No, bro,
like, I'm still gave you £1 million.
Let me finish, yeah?
So go on.
For me, yeah, see, like, you're my brethren. If you are sneak this in somebody on the pod, yeah, that might be a light conversation. But if you sit and go on the pod and you go ham at somebody, then we're going to have a bigger conversation about it because you actually really, really went there. So it's like those that light conversation might not be enough to change your energy. But if you sit there and you go there and we have a proper conversation about it, then it might not. It just depends on who you are as a man, innit? But for me, it's like, again, this is where I was disappointed. Where I was disappointed with J. Cole is that although I didn't want to see him do it and I didn't care for it, I felt like I was robbed of a moment a bit though. Because I'm like, okay, do you know what? You did do it. You tried a thing. Let me just see Kendrick go and rip your head off. And then, I wanted to see that. And maybe as well, if he would have just shut his mouth, Kendrick would have just ripped his head off, said some more stuff about Drake, and then Drake would have had to have come out quicker. So that was why I was a little bit. That's why I was a little bit upset about that. Huh?
Do you think Drake's nervous?
No.
Right. I think he is. I think he's got mad PTSD. Mad PTSD.
Go.
I think when he heard like that, instantly Pusha T memory started. And he hasn't responded to Pusha T. And he done an interview talking about why he didn't respond and all of that. So my whole thing
What was the reason?
The reasons were that
he said he didn't want to go, like, it was going to take him to a place that he didn't want to go. Because that was Pusha brought out the
you don't
thing
want
with
it
his
from
kid.
Pusha. That Pusha's different animal.
But you know, it makes me wonder though. It makes me wonder, what have you lot watched growing up? Because although we obviously are a lot older and we have a bit of maturity, so we can do calculated risks and so on and so forth. I'm still like, I watched hip hop growing up, so all the things I know and learn is from that. So if I've never seen that response before, how am I the first person to do? I've never seen that before.
What are you talking about?
But you know what it is?
What are you talking about?
Just some sort of responses from Drake, like not responding. What do you mean you're not responding? You're meant to respond and lose, like Jay-Z was super ugly. How do you not respond? Like, what's going on?
Do you know what the difference is? I get, and listen, I don't want you to think that I'm against what you're saying, yeah, because I'm not. I understand what you're saying, but it also comes down to, like, sometimes it comes down to, like, what your DNA is, what you got in your heart, who you got around you, like, what environment you've been brought up in. Like, with all due respect, yeah, like, Drake never came from that. He's become it because I feel like he's had to become that now to hold this number one thing, and everyone getting onto him and this, that, and the fourth, and people digging stuff from his past and, like, all kinds of stuff. His desire to hold this and all of the things that he's been through is huge. So it's turned him into this guy. But in his core, that's not necessarily who he is. So when all of this happened before, it's like, he had that situation where, what was it? It wasn't just Pusha. There was the next thing before with Kendrick, where when that came up, he was kind of like, I didn't really like the way that he did this with so-and-so, whatever. Now, that the core rap heads would have just said, bro, shut up and just rap back, bro. What are you talking about? You didn't like the way that he did. This is hip-hop. This is rap.
Yeah, but you know what, Chuck,
as years go on and your experiences change you and certain things happen, you don't get on with this man anymore. You don't get on with that Don. This person's brought up the shit with his kid. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Them things change you. But Cole ain't had that. He's just a nice kid from a nice university that may have come from the hood. He might have come from the hood, but he was just a youth on the hood that like did his own thing.
Do you know what I compare it to, Chuck? Yeah, you see, you've been using the comparison a lot, poet, about grime.
Yeah.
See, when we youths and we were making music, we didn't wake up and say, "Hey guys, like let's make something called grime."
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? We were just living it.
Exactly.
So I think for the early hip hop heads, they were just living it. It just so happened to be embedded into their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then the youngers, who are the Drakes, who are the Kendricks, whoever it is, who are kind of looking up to them, they're studying them and watching them and thinking, I want to get involved in this type of thing. But you see, when they actually get there and someone sends something for their head top, it might be like, ooh,
nervous.
I'm not sure
I think it's that, but mixed with this though. I hear
you
you.
know,
I
one
think
time
it's
a man dissed me one time, yeah? Stomach butterflies, all kinds of things happening now. Because in my brethren and my cousins might want to do a certain thing, but I'm just not that way inclined.
But let me show you
something. Wait. Listen. There's one thing I'm going to say about this thing, yeah? The only time we had was a few different times, but there's one time it got real. Shout out to Frisco.
Big up Frisco.
Oh, he
Shout
comes
out to Frisco.
He come to try and kill me and Chuckie one time.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's to try and kill.
He won't even want
Listen, this is what I'm saying, yeah?
Yeah.
So something's happened with someone, and then someone sent a war dub for someone, and someone's in North London sending shots for us, man. I think it's something to do with Wild. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
So we all gassed up youngers again.
Seeing what's going on.
We're on Deja doing a whole set. Saying names, bro. About half an hour into it.
Deja roof door.
Roof door. The man them are there.
Bro, I love this.
Who's
pulled up?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Then it's like
part one, my brothers.
So then it's that's the J. Cole moment almost. Is it J. Cole who apologised?
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed up. Sorry. That's
no one knocked on his door, big man.
No, but
he knocked on his door.
I'm saying sometimes your conscience knocks on your own door.
Yes, I hear
Alright,
that.
so let me show you what because I understand fully where you lot are coming from, yeah?
I like that.
I like the fact that you said about when you were younger and so on and so forth, because I think that is the biggest problem. It's cultural differences.
Yes.
If a Polish man makes dancehall, I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but it's not going to be what the Jamaican man did in Kingston. So I'm saying the Canadian boy that grew up middle class and so on and so forth may love hip hop, but he loves it as a second-hand individual.
Different.
So you know them innate things within you that you just do because you are part of hip-hop outside of 3 minutes 30 seconds. He don't have that. So my whole thing is you can't tell us what's going on because you are not the purest form of what's going on. You're meant to respond, my guy, and if you don't respond, it stinks and you've lost. And I would tell this to all in grime. Don't get it twisted. We are good boys. Good boys. When the first time someone sent for us, we sat down and we said, we, irrespective of the results, are responding. And every time you send for us, we're gonna respond until one of us make it clear that we've won. We're not backing down, because I just think some things come down to the actual sport and I'm not trying to get involved in something, have the privilege of being involved in it, and then try and change it to cater to me.
Drake will respond though, and the thing is, to give in fairness to him, Drake has responded. He's done the war thing before, and he came out victorious. He didn't do it. He didn't come out victorious with Push, but you know, some people will argue and say that he lost to Gossip or whatever. I see some people talking about that, whatever that may be. But
to everyone that said that story, Chucks, he lost because he didn't respond. If I punch you, you punch you back, and I punch you, and you don't throw another punch, and now you're on the floor. I think I won that fight. It's not that difficult. Drake lost. Drake stands get on my nerves.
That's okay.
And I love Drake.
Let me just finish. Let me just hold that, But and that's fair enough. Like, you know, he lost to Pusha. It is what it is. That's the art of the thing in it, But the reason why I believe that Drake will respond this time around is because of what I said before. I think the game has turned him into this person, which makes him feel like he will have to respond, because he would have known.
He's turned into this person.
He's turned into this person. Yeah, but it's not just the game, but maybe the experience is just a whole bunch of other things being in the position that he's in. And also him knowing that at some point in his career, this day is going to come.
Yeah.
At some point, even if they're old, even if they're in their 50s or 60s, at some point, them two are going to have to address this thing. And I know that from what it sounds like anyway, did you listen to Joe Budden's pod?
I listened to bits of it.
They're saying that something's going to drop on Friday, so we'll see what happens. This pod,
it would have dropped.
It would have dropped by the time this comes out, but we'll see. I don't think nothing's coming. But what was you going to say, my bro?
The diss. Was there anything in the diss?
There.
I personally, that's what I was going to say. Anything that you think he should be backtracking, like, you know, when you heard Pusha T's this, you're thinking, shit, you're talking about baby mums and porn stars. I might take that back. Is there anything why he would need to retract it?
It was nothing, and he lied in it, but everyone lies anyway in their bars or whatever. But I think it was just more like he was talking about how sleepy Kendrick's albums made him and that, and it's like, it's ironic because everyone knows that if you're not a J. Cole fan, he makes sleepy music. You love Kendrick. Like, we know that you like these things.
Tigo said the best on Twitter. It's two boring artists, like, and that's what I don't like. Like,
no, I don't think they're boring.
They're not boring. No, they're not boring. I'm saying to you, that's what I don't like though. Like, how are you cussing a man about something that they tell you do as well? You weren't on this. You didn't think it through. It just felt like all ego. But my whole thing is, once you make your bed, you have to lay in it, dog. You have to lay in it. And then man weren't trying to lay in the bed that they made. They wanted to lay in the next bed.
Do you know what? I will say this, and I know that you lot will disagree heavily, yeah. But for me, I would actually much prefer, if a man is going to apologise, I prefer, maybe not, it doesn't have to be 3 days later, but I'd rather it be soon than 5 years and pretending that this is what you were standing on when you wasn't really standing on it. Like, if you are going to pretend for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and then you're going to go on Angie Martinez's show, bawling your eyes out, talking about you needed therapy and this, that, and the fourth for all the work, all the shit that you did within that time, and you was faking it for those. I just like, you know what, big man, this isn't you. I knew it wasn't. Maybe everyone else is a bit surprised. I understand also the hip hop element, especially the purists and that are looking at this saying, "Right, this is going against the fundamentals." I understand all of those type of things, but you know what? I'm just letting you know. I didn't. When you was telling me the last 3 years that you was the best or whatever, and that no one don't want no smoke with you and this, that, and the fourth, I didn't. I was more surprised that you was telling me that. I was just more surprised at that.
Nigga, I didn't believe your ass.
I didn't believe you. And as much as I like J. Cole, I haven't got my... One day I'm going to come in here with my top 10 or top 20 or whatever. But he was never in my top 3 for me anyway.
Oh no, J. Cole was in my top 10. He's now not in my top 50.
Alright, but was he in your top 3? He definitely wasn't in your top 3.
He's not in my top 100 no more. He's not in my top 20. I might delete him off my phone.
Who's your number one?
Lost the respect.
My number one artist? Are you really going to ask me that?
Yes.
Big deal, boy.
Past, present, or future. My brother. Future's my favourite, and do you know why? It's like I said, it's the evolution. It's the reason why I love grime. It's the evolution of a sound. Don't go bunny hop into every single genre in the world and go, oh, I'm just trying to be a well-rounded musician. Like, you have a life. You are a person. Tell us your story through your chosen art, and let me see that grow. And that's why I love Future. First song I heard, Tony Montana. When I hear this music now, it's like an evolution of Tony Montana. These other guys, I still love Drake, by the way, but these other guys just sound like Vibes Cartel 1 minute, country and western the next minute.
Can I be an
Man's
idiot?
Aaliyah next minute.
Quickly? No. Just poet, yeah. You know, I don't know if it was you or Chuck. You said, again, it's because I'm uneducated on the 3 artists. There's Kendrick, there's Drake, and there's J. Cole. Yeah. You say J. Cole was like the grime Tiny. Like you would use that comparison.
Yeah.
I see why you do, but Tiny didn't apologise.
The reason why I should backtrack on that as well is because Tiny is battle tested. However, he was battle tested against somebody that they didn't really fuck with each other though.
What about the other two though?
Who?
Kendrick and J. Like, who are the comparisons?
Ooh, who's Kendrick and who is grime? Who's Kendrick and Gets?
You could say that. Yeah, you could say that's a decent.
Now you're putting into context with me.
Like I'm. This is what I do.
Yeah.
But then who would be Drake then?
That's a good. Maybe we don't have one yet.
No, you've got one. You've got one.
In grime.
Yeah.
We got a Drake.
There must be one.
Someone that just runs the charts and doesn't really want to do.
Stormzy?
Doesn't run the charts though.
Will you think it's Stormzy as well? No.
He's out of it.
He's from Belgium. He's just thinking, yo, man.
I think there's a closer argument. You don't run it, but you know, like, I think it could be that closer.
Dave?
Nah.
Too early. Sench.
Good verse on the J. Cole album though.
Yeah. Big
Very
up
good verse.
Big up Sench, man.
That's a good shout though. Maybe is it Sench?
In the comments, leave a comment.
I don't really say any of the artists, so
how come?
I don't know. You know,
I find that interesting.
I can't even answer the question.
You lot are the people I love. When I meet like a Doncaster fan in football, I'm like, you man are the real guys, bro. Like, you haven't gone for the flashing lights.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's get into something. I just wanted to just say very quickly. yeah, I'm gonna bring Mitch back as well. We're gonna discuss that, and also I heard from the grapevine that Future hasn't had a Percocet or Sip Lee.
Just leave my Future alone, my guy, brother. I feel like something's happened because Mitch phoned me. I feel like something's happened, but anyway, go on. EA Sports, check it out.
Yeah, Rough Squad's back outside though.